Hi, I'm Sean Snyman, and today I've decided to make a video to try and get people to understand why I'm a part of the DA. Over the last few weeks, it's been actually very disappointing to see how the political situation in South Africa is going on. And at a recent debate, we sat there with 12 political parties, of which 11 of them all sat there talking about how to get rid of the DA. So in other words, what we're saying is that if you're not part of the DA, you're actually talking with the ANC. And I'd like to take this opportunity to just talk to you about a few things that I feel are very important. The lies that are being told to South Africans at the moment. I have a philosophy, and it's very simple. Logic trumps emotion every time. The simple reason being is that because logic cannot be mistaken. It can be proven, and I'm about to say to you exactly those things today. Let's start with the housing. All the political parties are talking about housing, housing, housing. They're going to give you houses, they're going to give you this and that. That's all fair and well. But how are they going to do it without money? And where's that money going to come from? We've got the EFF and the ANC talking about land expropriation without compensation. Brilliant idea if you've got no house. But what about the economy of the country? We have to consider that as the main important thing in order to get jobs. Because you can have a house, but the house is not going to feed you. The house is not going to give you a job, and it's definitely not going to look after your children. And what the DA is saying is that we need to build a sound foundation for our children to give them an education in order to put them into a position where they can actually earn their own money, either through entrepreneurial skills or to put them in a position where the businesses of today will actually employ them. The other thing that the DA is also talking about is job opportunities, and everyone seems to think that by being part of the DA or the governing party, the DA is actually going to give you a job. That's not what we're saying. And those that believe that it is are totally misinformed. Job opportunities come from investment. And although South Africa is shunning all the other opportunities and stuff like that, you cannot take away from the rich in order to empower the poor. We need to work together, and this is what the DA is saying. We need investment into this country. We need foreign investment, and without that, we will go the same route as the rest of Africa. Currently, South Africa might still be considered a third world country, but we have the potential of becoming a leading force in the African continent. But we're never going to do it if we continue the way we're at the moment. To give you a bit of background, I come from Zimbabwe, or the then Rhodesia, and we all know what the situation is there. People are starving, but they made the same promises of what our politicians are doing today. The EFF, the ANC, the PAC for that matter, are all saying land, land, land first. And I'm saying again, think very carefully. I strongly believe that most South Africans have the same ideals and the same needs. And those are basically put across all spheres. We all have the need for safety. We all have the need for a future for our children. But how we're going about it is all wrong. How many of you actually sit at home and talk to your children about the opportunities in our country? Went to another meeting a while ago where people from opposition parties stood up and said, yes, I'm white, my children have no future. Are they being fair to themselves or being fair to their children? Because if that's the attitude, and all you're ever going to tell your children is that you've got to wait for a job or you're not going to find a job, what happened to the entrepreneurial skills and the entrepreneurial spirit that we had in the past? Why not teach our children to earn their own incomes by starting their own businesses? Today I did something very funny, or not funny, but very important. I had people come into my office, and it actually broke my heart because these people are living on the street. And the lady said to me that what they wanted to do was come in. They wanted to get an ID so that they can go and borrow money off a SASSA grant. Now, I'm sorry. As the political head for social and community development, the last thing I'd want from anybody is to actually go into a debt situation. Because all you're doing is you're perpetuating that whole need for money from an external source. And all you're basically then also doing is saying to yourself that you will never get out of it. So I spoke to the family and I said to them, but why do they want to go and borrow money when they could actually use even a SASSA grant? You don't have to be on that for the rest of your life. There are ways of making money for yourself. It might not be millions of rand, but every little bit counts. On another occasion, I'll actually tell you a little bit more about my background. But for those of you that don't know, yes, I've been in the streets. I've been a person on the streets. I understand what it's like to have no income. But it's a choice that a person has to make, whether you're going to stay there or improve yourself. Let's talk about disadvantaged. Yes, the current situation in South Africa is a question of previously disadvantaged, currently disadvantaged. But I can say to you that I am one of those people. I'm a member of the disabled community. And 10 years ago, I had to make a decision of whether I was going to live off my SASSA grant, as they so call it, or whether I was going to actually pick myself up and make a difference to the lives of others. And that was a choice that I had to make myself. I think South Africans have given up because of all the nonsense that's going on. We've been far too brainwashed by people saying that this can't be done, that can't be done. And yes, maybe I am an optimist, but I do believe that the glass is half full and not half empty. Because no matter what your circumstances are, there is a way out. If we look at the current situation of politics in South Africa as well, in the Western Cape alone, we're sitting with 32 parties apparently. But if you look back in 2014, only 3 parties managed to get more than 2%. Those parties being the DA, 57%, the ANC with 34%, and the EFF, 2.3%. Now what I'm asking you is think for yourself. If you take out the DA, as you all say that you want to do, what alternatives are you going to have? Are you going to let the ANC carry on and take back the Western Cape, which we're trying to improve? I think not. What are your other alternatives? Yes, the ACDP has a support. The Freedom Front has support. But is it going to be enough to maintain control away from these parties? The adverts all say, stop the ANC from getting into power. We've seen what the corruption is like. Why is the Western Cape the fastest growing province in South Africa? Because the DA is doing something right. Otherwise, why would they be flocking here? We've got people coming from as far away as Gauteng, Limpopo, Eastern Cape. The minute they get here, they say it's like a different world. And it is, because the DA cares. And that's why I joined the DA 4.5 years ago, because I want to make a part of the difference and not be a part of the problem. I'm saying to you, vote for whichever party you want to. But remember, you have to live with those consequences yourself. Thank you.